Loktarogar. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, everyone's favorite orc warrior, and it's time for another orc mode workout. You know, today is one of those sessions where, again, because of what I'm doing right now while I'm trimming down, I've just chilled with my workout. You know, I came in and just hit some moderately heavy singles with some back offsets. Everything went good. My hook grip was fine today. I got it sorted out. I'm kind of finding that sweet spot because honestly, like when I set my hook in my my thumb, literally a 1/4 inch difference in where I set my thumb over the bar before I wrap it around. Literally a 1/4 inch of difference is a difference between a mild discomfort and a pretty high level of pain to where I can't even hold onto the bar. So it's just getting that hook set correctly, and a lot of it has to do with where I place my thumb when I seat the bar into the webbing of the hand and everything. That's really, really critical on getting that set perfect. And I'm getting it back down again today, just finding that sweet spot, and so I'll be able to do that every day. But I think for now, again, while cutting and just keeping the protein high, keeping a bit of cardio in, keeping my calorie deficit going with really high protein, yeah, I'm not going to be able to really push this training to the limits I was doing a couple months ago. My body's just not going to take it. I mean, it would if I was blasting a bunch of gear, but I'm not. You know, part of me thinks that's a bad business decision for me not to do it. But I've got to look at the long term. You know, if I do it, everyone's going to know. I don't think I can hide it. My audience, I think, is a little smarter than other people, by and large, and they would figure it out. I don't think I'd get away with it. So it's, you know, one of those to where I'm always tempted. I'm always tempted, guys. That temptation is always there. I mean, I've used gear in the past. I mean, I know what it can do. I know what the stuff can do. And that temptation is always going to be there, but I got to look at the, you know, am I going to be able to really market the level of integrity I want with what I'm doing? If I do that, you know, without people calling me out, because people are going to know. Number two, I've got to look at the health risk, and that's ultimately what it comes down to. You know, I mean, I've never made as much money as I could have on YouTube because I've always done things a certain way. And, you know, I figure I might as well just keep doing what I'm doing. My money gets better every year. This channel's growing. I'll be making a 6-figure income off this channel eventually. I mean, realistically speaking, it's just when I look at the historic growth rate. So, you know, I don't feel like I really need to cheat and particularly trim another 5-10 years off my lifespan just to make a little extra money, when it's like, you know, I could make a little bit of extra money and maybe go further in life and live longer and be healthier instead. You know? I mean, what good is that extra money going to do me if I'm dead? I don't know. I just got to think about it that way, guys. I do. You know, and that's the name of the game, guys. I mean, if we're going to talk about fitness, it's about longevity. That's the same thing I've had to realize, man. Guys, I've got to go ahead and just keep trimming the body weight down. And if that means I don't reach my 500 squat this year and a 485 is the best thing I hit this year, then so be it. You know, if the 335 bench is the best bench I hit this year, then so be it. If I'm leaner and healthier and fitter, that'll give me more opportunity to increase the strength on the back end. So I need to be thinking in those terms of, can I maintain strength? Can I maintain lean body mass? Can I maintain muscle mass and keep trimming down? Because I think realistically here, really I probably need to drop another 20 pounds beyond where I'm at now. And then assess. You know, that's one of those things where we go, we don't need to go, oh, well, that's in the end goal. No, that's another assessment point, right? That's the point where I get down another 20 and say, okay, let's assess what's going on from here and maybe set new goals from that point. And again, I've got to look at the health and fitness end of it. If I'm healthier and I don't have to go on a bunch of medications here in my 40s, I can probably keep training hard while leaner and, you know, better body composition and everything. I can keep training hard up till I'm 50. You know, and if that gives me 8 more years of pushing, I think I can get stronger, guys. I don't think our strength has to totally peak in your 30s and that, oh, that's it, you're done. I don't think it has to be that way. I think too many guys get hurt, and I think too many guys destroy their health so early on that there just aren't enough guys left when they're 50 years old who still have the capacity to train harder, who built any sort of base at all when they were younger. And I think that's a lot of what it is. That's my theory, at least. And you know what? I've got about 8 or 9 years to test that theory, don't I? And hopefully I'll be around here still on YouTube during that time to do that, and we'll see where it goes. So yeah, I mean, today I'm just not pushing it. It's like I hit what feels like a pretty heavy single, ramp up to, and it feels fairly heavy. That's fairly heavy. That's a good single. Just push with it as hard as I can. And then, doing like a good back off 5-rep set, which is what I did on the squat. And then on the bench today, 275 for a 5 on a pause close grip. I think that's decent for back off work. I feel like there's a decent stimulation effect. There's at least enough there to maintain my muscle. So, a quick 315 with a pause for a single. Using compensatory acceleration, exploded as hard as fast as I can. That'll hit the same muscle fiber as a true max will. I'm within 90% of my max, so we know that's enough to hit that. But it doesn't beat the recovery up, because I'm not eating enough to have the recovery resources. I'm tapping into my body fat for recovery at this point. And granted, I got a fair amount of body fat to tap into, but that's not the same as being able to load an extra 500 calories or 1,000 calories of carbs. It's absolutely not the same. My carbs are not particularly high for me at this point because I'm eating a lot of protein. And, my dietary fat's real low, so I'm running on body fat for a lot of stuff for my recovery and everything else. And eventually, I'm going to run out of that. But the hook grip went better today. I was happy with it. It was a nice, comfortable, I wouldn't call it comfortable. Hook grip's never comfortable. But I would describe it today as a mild discomfort instead of painful, and that's ideal. And I think, again, a couple months of just some nice, moderately heavy, because this isn't heavy. You guys have seen me pull 150 pounds more than this year already, so this is obviously not heavy. But a moderately heavy hook grip, and day after day, did some double overhand back off work just to keep training my back and train the movement pattern, train my grip, and some pull-ups, and it's good, It's good. And that's going to be kind of the cornerstone lifts for me: squat, bench, deadlift, pull-ups. Yeah, obviously, I'm going to overhead press once a week. Maybe throw in some other stuff every now and then for fun. But this is the meat and potatoes. It's my meat and potatoes workout, guys. This is what builds your size. And, everything else is of secondary importance. I'm not saying other lifts don't have benefits. I'm not saying they don't have benefits, but this is where you should put your real work, and anything else is just kind of a finishing touch, maybe addresses a weak point. But, you don't really address much in the way of weak points when you're cutting, do you? Because it's kind of hard to build muscle mass. Focus on the basics. Focus on the basics. I can add other stuff in when I'm eating more, and I can recover from it and adapt to it and actually gain muscle from it. So for now, 4 or 5 lifts a week with sufficient intensity, with sufficient volume, just to maintain my size, my thickness, my strength, and keep dropping the scale, keep dropping the body fat, keep moving forward, get healthier, let's get fitter. At the end of the day, guys, this is a fitness channel. Yes, it's a strength channel. Yes, it's a conditioning channel, but it is a fitness channel. And fitness, your body fat, your body composition does matter to that. And now I think some people overhype that. And we know that they do, that we know that people who are carrying a little extra body fat are not necessarily unhealthy when you look at their blood work. Because even my stuff's been okay. Honestly, guys, even at over 20% body fat, I haven't had bad blood work come back, surprisingly enough. Because I train a lot, and because I don't really eat junk food, I just eat a lot of calories. Like, people are confused, they think, oh man, because of his body fat, I bet you he eats double bacon cheeseburgers and ice cream and pizza all the time. I really don't. I really don't. Like, I gain weight if I eat pizza once a week. So it's not an option for me. So I haven't had any in months. I just don't eat stuff like that. I eat pretty bro, but I do eat a lot of food, and it's still calories in, calories out. But what's been noticed, it makes your blood work look better. And even when they did the DEXA scan on me, they noticed my visceral fat was relatively low in comparison to my overall body fat, which again is indicative of a good diet. And it's just that the other fat is indicative of a caloric surplus, right? Because that's ultimately what it comes down to. People who eat a bad diet tend to have a lot of visceral fat, even if they're not obese yet. It just happens. So it's interesting how that works out, but that is the case. I actually eat relatively well, so my blood work has come back okay, but let's be realistic here. Walking around over 20% body fat in your 40s, it might be okay for a while. Eventually it'll catch up to me. And I'm at a point where I can do something about that, and I need to do something about that And I'm at a point in my life where I can do so. So I'm going to keep working towards it. I'm going to be accountable with these DEXA scans, which I'm paying for out of my own pocket. And we'll see where I'm at coming up here soon. And then we'll reach the next goal after that, one step at a time. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative. And I will talk to you guys next time.